prefixes, roots, and suffixes. They are like jigsaw puzzle of English. These pieces make language so much more dynamic, and with it, we grow our vocabulary to the point that we can go in academics. Now, I've broken this down by using these little pieces and giving you little clues as to what the prefix, the root, and the suffix mean. So let's dive in and look a bit more. There are many benefits, and there are challenges as well. And it decodes words, expands your vocabulary, spelling's improved, reading comprehension, efficient learning. But why is it worth the struggle? Well, as I said before, it unlocks tens of thousands of words. It makes academic English accessible. Your reading speed and comprehension are going to be drastically improved. It reduces your dependency on the dictionary. And I think most important, it creates complexity and confidence. So we're going to look at everything as a piece of the puzzle. All right. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to break it down into parts. And what's the root? It's the core part. And it's really important for understanding the root because these words are primarily words that we have. And in the odd case, they do change. And there can be standalones that don't look like a word. But in most cases, we can easily identify them. Then we have the prefix. The prefix is before. So pre, we're going to see, is actually a prefix, and it means before. And fix is a root. It means attach. Now, so pre is before, and then we also have the suffix. I always like to say the word suffer. We suffer to the end, and the suffix is at the end of it, even though in many cases we've been using suffixes since almost the get-go. We use the letter S for our plurals. We're using ing for action. We're using ed for past tense. So as you can tell, there's a lot here. Now, we're using a base word of happy as our root here. And so we add the prefix un, we have not. So we have not happy. Now, in the case of the suffix, in a lot of cases with the suffix, what we see is we're changing the context of the word. So we're changing from an adverb or an adjective to a noun or a verb. All right. And so in the case with ness, happiness, it's changing from an adjective. We use the heart shape symbol. And with the noun, I'm using person, place, thing, and idea as the icon. So common mistakes to avoid. Not all begin with a suffix prefix. There are false flags. Not everything ends in a suffix. All right. So we have to be really careful as we grow. So one area that is very, very common that I tend to find is that the way we teach. And if we look down, there's a list of when we should be learning and sequence, and we're really not doing it. And when we try and memorize uh, the our prefixes and all our words, we're not actually cracking a code. We're doing ourselves a lot of disservice. We really want to be ensuring uh, that we're learning, we're cracking the code, we're putting the pieces in place. Right? So yes, you need some practice. Uh, they're not integrated with reading and writing. And the reality is, in most cases, just seeing a word or letters, it's not exciting. We need something to link it with. And flashcards are not a way to do it. I believe my puzzle pieces are a better way where we see the code. We've got a picture with a context, and then we transfer that to an actual meaning, something that's meaning. So we're able to link these three components uh, that just aren't text into the mind, and it has a lot more efficiency in learning. So many of these areas we see teachings fail, and that's not on you. That's on the system. And I don't blame the teachers either. It's just there isn't enough time, right? And so this is very practical stuff, the way I'm teaching it. As you say, you can see from here, everything I just basically torn apart the sheet and said, let's start from scratch. And by seeing, second and third language learners struggle with this and building the tools and working with the kids, they get it. So challenges that you non-language native speakers have. Yeah, cases like Chinese, it's all symbols. There's no using this kind of pieces to build. Spelling and pronunciation, yes. It's not always the same. And I emphasize when we pronounce different. So a great example would be re, R-E. Everybody thinks every time it's re or b or d, but it's not. In all cases, re or be or de. And sometimes it can be both. And so I try and provide you the best assets to give you what it is. Rather than you have to go and find it, I help you with it. All right. It's hard sometimes to know where to divide words. Big words are confusing, and sometimes there's false herrings. I'll be honest, I've seen a lot of cases where even with AI, I'll do something on one level of AI, and it will say it's a prefix or a root, and I'll do another one, and it will say no, it's not. And so it's really a case where there is no solid book as far as definition. Is it or is it not? It takes experience and recognition of what that word really means. And could it or should it be? All right. And so, of course, we also have the multiple meanings of the same prefix or suffix. So we have to be careful of that. Now, why is it so hard to work out what these letters mean? Because they don't mean words. They historically come from dead languages, Latin, that's today used for in law, or Greek. And so these just don't stand alone in many cases, and they're not intended to stand alone. All right. And there's no, as I said before, there's no set rules. It's not consistent. And so the barred parts, who knows where they start, who knows where they end. Experience creates this, and we help it out. Mm. Yes, I fully agree. There is an overwhelming number of parts to learn, but this goes back to the 80-20 rule. 20% of them will give you 80% of the rule. If you spend yourself working at 100% of them, you're not going to get a lot of achievement. You want to hit on the ones that are most common. There are some out there that are real fun, but there's no need. Because very few cases where they build many words. And so it's best to be efficient in our learning. We always need context. We always need to know how is the word being used, right? Suffixes change the part of speech, as I mentioned before. So in this symbol down below, we have a noun going to an adjective. All right. And I'm going to make it nice and clear as to when that happens so we can see the pattern. It becomes habit. We know what it is. Mm. Yes. Sometimes, like, why bother? I don't get it. Well, if you want to go to university, you're going to have to write some IELTS and some other uh, exams. And if you want to wait until the end and memorize them all, then that's up to you. If you want to work smart, then I recommend that you learn early as possible because you're going to pay now or pay later. And paying later is a lot more challenge. All right. Uh, Similar looking words. Yes, that happens a lot with English. We have words that look alike, and sometimes they sound alike but not spelt alike. All right. And of course, there's always going to be the cultural and academic vocabulary gap. And this does help narrow it somewhat. The overload. When you have to memorize everything and you got very little time, it's not going to work. You've got to chunk it today. 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there. Come back, come forth. Even when I'm working on these videos, I'll take time out from one video and go work on something else because I have to refocus. And if I just focus on one thing, it will get sloppy and a lot of mistakes. So take that chunking of time and make the most of it. Yeah, there's no freedom. This is how it is. All right. And with experience, it gets easier and easier. All right. Uh, I think the worst mistake you can make is not making a mistake. Now, how are we going to teach this? Well, here's an example. We're going to be breaking it down, 6 words per video, all using the same focus part. So either prefix or root or suffix. We keep them by level. So we do the early levels and then move on to the next level. We respect your time. I don't expect you to know all 15 or 20 or 50 or 100. That'd be too much. And so by doing this, you're able to conquer this opportunity. And this really is a critical part of English that I strongly recommend you focus on. And one last thing, I ask dearly that you please share this video and get as much support as you can for these pages on both Instagram and YouTube. I spend many hours. I'm committing to helping all second and third language speakers. That means I don't take a paycheck, and the support you show on here is my paycheck. All right. And I look forward to bringing you more and more of these more challenging areas with full graphics and full thought behind it. I've been working for 15 years to just do this. On that note, good luck with this. I look forward to